Hey, how y'all doing? This is Sun 919 Truth Sports coming to you with another segment, and this is a segment that I've been waiting to do. It's basically going to be called "What is everybody, or why is everybody so mad at Colorado for?" They are meeting expectations, and I get right into it. Um, I think what happened was everybody kind of fell into the Coach Prime promotion and marketing scheme that he has, that he's very good at. Um, he came in saying we're going to win now. He was telling us how impatient he was, and he was guaranteeing he was bringing Louis luggage and all of these things that was going to happen within the first year that he got there. I knew it was crazy and wouldn't work because I know athletics. Um, but it's easy to get caught up in all the hype that he brings. I know that what he's doing is not a process of building. It's a process of hoping you get the right players that you don't have to really coach up and you catch lightning in the bottle. So I understood that from the beginning. Most people did not, or they didn't want to believe it. Um, so y'all kind of fell for the marketing genius of Coach Prime. Um, he as I said, he'll tell you here that we have NFL coaches, we have any NFL scouts. You know, he talks about him being the Hall of Famer, and the Colorado practices will always be watched by these pros. I mean, you know, these pro scouts. But Coach Prime has been coaching 3 going into 4 years. So that's 21 rounds of drafts, and not one of Coach Prime's players have been drafted. Now, there was a linebacker in 2022 that was drafted in the sixth round from Jackson State, but from what I read up on, he was already getting that type of attention before Dion even came. So Dion won't have a player to really go into the draft as far as getting drafted until this upcoming season when Travis and Shador goes into the draft for sure, and they're going to be high picks. Um, Now, it's well documented that he recreated a brand new team from scratch. He got rid of everybody, and he brought in all new players. And when you bring in all new players, I don't know what you all was expecting him to do. On top of them having a very tough schedule and a lot of ranked teams that they had to go against. Some of their toughest games on the road. So when you bring in all these players, you have no real connection to them, and there was like 95% a new roster. So I said to myself, so when they came in, we have 95% new players or a new roster. There's no chemistry. I don't care what nobody tells you. There's no camaraderie. Um, and then when you have all new players at every position, you have no idea what you want to get. You're hoping again. I call it that lightning in the bottle type of project he was doing. And then most of those new players was from all over different college football teams and different levels. Then you had new coaches. The new coaches don't know the players as far as their temperaments, their playing styles, what type of knowledge they have. Can they study the game? How do they play in tough games? You know, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the advantages you get when you get a kid out of high school and you can coach him every year. You can kind of see how he's developing, and then you can kind of predict. You can kind of predict how he's going to do. Therefore, you can kind of predict how your team is going to do. Now, to me, I predicted 4 wins, and I did it in one of my segments. I predicted 4 wins, and they got 4 wins, and I thought that was excellent. Coming from a team that was in last place with only one win, and they still finished in last place. A lot of y'all don't like to talk about that, but they did. But I was proud that they got 4 wins out of the season, and I'm starting to wonder, what did y'all expect? And then coming into this year, he did it again. He got 42 new players, so that's 80 some odd new players in under 2 years. So basically, he has a new team again, and the same things are going to happen. They won't have any camaraderie, they won't have any chemistry. They don't know each other. It's the lightning in the bottle project. So I predicted them to go 5-7 at the lead, at the worst, 6-6 at best. And if you go 5-7, to me, that's still a good season. If they go 6-6 and make a bowl game, that's an excellent season. I don't know what you all are expecting. I think after the Nebraska game and you saw them struggle against North Dakota State. North Dakota State is a FCS team, but they're really a Division I team playing in an FCS conference. I think that highly of them. Nebraska, even though I picked Colorado to beat Nebraska because I thought Shador's experience would outweigh the freshman from Nebraska, but I did not take into account the atmosphere. So I have them beating Nebraska, but losing to Colorado. But losing to Colorado State, and they play Colorado State this weekend. So either way, I still had them 2-1 out of the first three games. So it still looks like that could happen. But what are you all expecting them to do? What are you expecting Deion to really do with new players or 80 some odd new players in the last 2 years? You all are expecting him to come in and really make the playoffs. Um, I don't. I think you're giving him or making expectations that are too high this early. Any coach or any player knows when you get that many new players. It's not like a basketball team where you have 5 starters or you got 7 that you played and you get 2 or 3 new players. You can mix those in. But when you're talking about 40 some odd new players or 80 in the last 2 years, I think you need to lower your expectations. Like I said, 5-7 at the worst, 6-6 at best, and if they go 6-6 into a bowl game, I think that's an excellent job. And those are just the type of jumps I think you have to take every year before you become good. The lightning in the bottle is exactly what it is. He's going to have to get very lucky and hope that these players that they don't want to coach up because they're struggling because of coaching. It's not just personnel, it's scheme, it's coaching, and there's a lot of different things that are outside the kids' controls that are happening. And so you have to take that into account. So we have to stop. Yes, Coach Prime asked for a lot of this attention. A lot of it is his fault by the way his arrogance and by the way he talks and by these promises that he makes. But if you put all that aside, and if you know sports, if you've played sports, if you've coached sports, if you've been watching sports for 30, 40, 50 years, you know it's a lightning in the bottle process that he's hoping that'll work. Outside of that, he's going to have to take time to build. He's going to have to stop getting rid of 40 kids every year. You need to keep most of those kids, maybe 8, 9, 10 new kids a year that you can easily mix in with the ones you already have. And I'm going to give you an example. When they played Nebraska with that crowd going crazy, let's just say they kept a couple of linemen from last year who went through that bad experience that they went through of everybody getting them about not blocking, etc., etc. But let's say you're bringing some new guys mixed with some of the old guys that's been through it before. You don't think that would have helped Colorado as far as the offensive line is concerned last year, even the defensive line? You need guys with experience. Sometimes you have to deal with guys when they're not at their best. You work with them and you coach them. They're paying you to coach them. Then in the off season, you coach them up to be better than they were the year before. That's what development is. And they're not doing that. But don't you think that would have helped them when they played Nebraska? Some experience on that offensive line? Instead of having all new players the first time in every situation together. And you heard that in some of the press conferences. Well, it's our first time, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be your first time every game. None of y'all know each other. I look at that team and I'm like, wow, I do not know most of these guys. And I watch everything that Well Off and all this Colorado Bus media drop. I look at everything, and most of the time I'm looking, I'm like, wow, I don't remember this guy. I don't remember this guy. And I have to actually go online and look them up to see where they transferred from. And that's not good for any program. Yes, people do transfers every year, but when you have 80 in 2 years, that's just too many. Somebody just needs to say, Deion, we got to start coaching, man. We can't just stop getting rid of kids every year. And if you remember, Coach Deion said that if you're in the portal, you're not that anyway. That's out of his mouth. So if you're getting second and third tier players, in your eyes, then you got to step up and coach them. I think they have talent on this team. I think they have talent that can win, but I think the coaches are failing them right now. I think the scheme is failing them right now. So I'm going to hope they get it together. I think they can. Like I said, my prediction is 5-7 at the worst, 6-6 at the best, and I'm hoping they can make a bowl game. But at the same time, I'm hoping that they stop sacrificing kids. There's too many kids leaving. You claim that you want to do things right by kids on and off the floor. Off the field, but kicking them off the team every year is not helping them. Putting some of them in the transfer portal and some of them are not even getting picked up doesn't help them. It doesn't help them get an education because most of them, as we know, will not make a pro level. So it is what it is right now. I'm confused about where everybody's angry with Colorado's development. They have a new team every year. There is no development. It's lightning in a bottle. I'm kind of hoping they catch lightning in the bottle and at least get 5 to 6 wins this season. And then hopefully after the season, the coaches can sit down and reevaluate how they're doing things and what's working for them. But I can tell you, bringing in these 80 some odd players, the last 2 years, is not working for anybody. It's cheating the kids. It's making it hard on the new coaches, and it's tricking the fan base because it's going to crash again if they keep doing it this way. So hopefully they beat Colorado State. I have them losing to Colorado State. But again, as I told you, I do have them 2-1 in the first 3 games. So it is what it is right now. It's Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.
It's been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.